Okay, so if we go into our rendered view, we've got our lights going, we've got our materials going. We're pretty happy with all of that for now. And one thing before we get any further, we want to check our model for basically modeling errors or glitches or anything like that. Anything that's going to really stand out and distract from an animation or visualization as being like, this isn't right. We want to go through and check to make sure it isn't there. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to start looking at things. And right away, I'm going to notice that the housekeeping pad isn't aligned with the chillers. Maybe the chillers grew or something like that. So if that's something we want to fix, take note of that. Turn around over here. Looks like there's some housekeeping pads here that aren't really lining up to anything. Maybe that was supposed to be... Oh, goodness, let's get back in this space here. Yeah, maybe those are supposed to be lined up under something else, so we'll take a look at that. And also I noticed with these chillers, this big block right here looks suspiciously like a clearance zone, which in Revit is transparent, but in here is not, so we want to fix that too. So let's go through this and fix some stuff. So I'm going to turn off a bunch of stuff that isn't necessary, so I'm going to turn off the ducts, and I'm going to turn off the pipes. Just give myself some room to work. Turn off windows and doors and ceilings and walls for the moment, and I'm going to turn off plumbing stuff and electrical stuff. Okay, so first things first, I want to address this housekeeping pad. You'll notice when I selected that, all these other things got selected as well. So what that means is I can't just move this, because if I just tried to move this object with G and then X, all of these pads would move. So that's no good. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to hit Tab to go into edit mode, and hit A twice to deselect everything. And then I'm going to hit the C button, that's circle select. If I scroll the mouse wheel, I can make it bigger or smaller. And just click and drag over those two vertices, which I've got selected. I can come over here and select these two vertices, and then I can move these vertices same as you would move anything else. So I'm going to hit G and then X and just slide that over there. And now my housekeeping pad nicely encompasses all three chillers. So I'm happy with that. Tab to go back out of that. And then I'm going to try to make sense of these. So these pads, I'll just... It looks like the housekeeping pads were modeled for an earlier version of the plant, and now they don't make a whole lot of sense. So this is where we get to be a little creative, and here, you might want to check in with the designers of the room and say, hey, is it cool if I tweak these things in this way? But for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna have at it. So go back into edit mode, and I'm going to select those guys, and you'll notice when I moused over, these vertices didn't get selected, and that's because basically I couldn't see them, and I'm in a mode where it only selects vertices you see. So I'm going to hit this button up here, which shows the scene transparent, and if I go back in that same view and I mouse over, I hit C to get this thing and click and drag all these guys, then it's actually going to click all of them. While I'm here, I'm also going to hit Z and change the shading over to solid. It'll make things a little faster. So now I'm just going to hit G, move that a little bit, hit G, Y, make it a little bit wider, and then select these guys and hit GX. So that looks good. That one looks good. This guy's, I don't even know what he's doing, so I'm going to rotate him by 90 degrees, move him over here, GY, carefully select just these, GY, and GX. Oh, maybe there's, see, turn the electrical equipment back on. No, there's nothing over there. So basically I'm not sure what this one is supposed to be for. Maybe these guys. I'm actually just going to delete that. So I'm going to hit X, delete those vertices. I'm going to select these, hit Shift D, X, move them over. For these pumps, and then another operation you can do is scale. So I'm going to hit S and then Y to scale in the Y direction. And that looks good. This one doesn't look like it's doing anything. Delete it. It's possible that these pads are for other equipment that I'm just not aware of. But that's fine. I accept responsibility for that. Just going to delete that guy. This guy over here. That looks alright. What is this? Chem treatment. So this is some sort of chem treatment thing. Okay. This housekeeping pad bigger. Yeah, like that. What's that? That's random make cooling tower cleaning holder. Cute. I'm going to select this stuff, copy it, Shift D, make it smaller. Okay, that's good enough for now. I think you get the idea. If we were really fastidious about this, we could go through and add housekeeping pads anywhere, but this isn't the design model. We want to make things look not weird, make things look not wrong. That is the most important thing. And I'm fairly happy with this for now. You can use your judgment a lot on these. So now if we come back over here to these chillers, we've got this box, which I don't think is actually part of a chiller. I've never seen a chiller with a random box cutting through the thingies like that. So I'm going to go back into tab mode, and I'm going to, what I want to do is I want to delete this box out of this object, but I don't want to delete any of the other geometry. So I'm going to come in here. If I'm not in vertex select mode, I'm going to do that by hitting the one that's over the Q. Then I'm going to select one of these vertices, and I'm going to hit Control plus, and that's going to start selecting geometry. It's going to select other vertices that are attached to this vertex. So if I hit AA again to deselect everything and you watch, so I've got this vertex selected and I hit Control plus once. Now this vertex is selected, this vertex is selected, this one's not, and this one's selected. So it's basically going out by an order of magnitude, or not an order of magnitude. The vertices that are connected to this one, when I hit Control plus, it's going to select those, and then so on and such forth. So I just hit that until things stop happening, and I've got this whole thing pretty much selected. I'm going to hit X, vertices. So that's gone. That's good. And then we've got another box here. I'm going to do the same thing, delete it. And that looks way more like I think a chiller is supposed to look. So I'm going to tab out of that. So that looks good. So I've got so I fixed the chillers, I fixed the housekeeping pads, and I think that's pretty much it. Looks good.